Do you know those times where you don't want to do something, but your parents force you to do it anyways? That's how I feel tonight. Joe is certainly not one of my parents, but I was hoping to just go to bed after that miserable game, and I got a message from Joe. Hey, are we starting that podcast? And here we are, damn it. All right. I'm your host, Josh Paloha, with Joe Gilbert, like usual, after every Browns game. Browns Instant Insights. The Browns just lost 16-10 in Baltimore to the Ravens, and one of the most boring,
Sloppy.
I don't even know, sloppy, like any word you want to describe like a bad game on both sides of the ball, you can use that to describe this game between Cleveland and Baltimore, because it was that and then some.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what to say, honestly. I mean, the Browns, yes, they're what I don't even know what their record is now. 6-6?
6-6, yep.
Yeah, 6-6 going into the bye week. So they already have more losses than I thought they'd have all season.
Yep.
The good news is that the bye week is here. Yeah, the good news is that the bye week is here. The bad news is that the Browns basically need to win out and get some help in order to make the playoffs. Yep. Joe, I just talked for a minute and 20 seconds. That's probably the last I'll talk this podcast because I'm here. You're forcing me to be here. No, I'm kidding. Joe, what are some of your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Jake Burns summed it up from the OBR, kind of summed it up. Those were just two bad teams. That was just two bad teams. Baltimore's not very good, and Cleveland, we know, is not very good. And that was an awful game. Both teams should have blown each other out. Like they both had chances to blow each other out, and they never did. It was bad. I can't believe what this offense has turned into. After all we saw last season, it has turned into just early Browns offense, early '99 Browns offense, where they just could not score points, and it was ugly, and it's just one thing or after another too. As we talked about earlier this season, it's not just one thing. Baker was bad today, but the O-line collapsed when Hance came in. The receivers couldn't get open and then just couldn't make catches in big situations. And then the run game just was schemed out of the game because they knew the only way that the Browns could move the ball was on the ground, and Baltimore knew it. And I think going forward, it's going to be pretty much every team's going to know what to do. It's not good.
By what to do, you mean literally load the box with Just go one-on-one on the outside and just load the box. Let's see. Right. Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb combined for 15 carries, which you can question why they only had 15 carries. But I think part of that is because they only had 36 yards. 15 carries, 36 yards. You can blame that on the offensive line. You can blame that on them just loading the box. Jack Conklin going down with a knee injury that he was ruled out on within minutes.
Not a good sign.
I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything post game. I'm assuming he's probably done for the year. I heard it was a serious knee injury. Knee injury usually means very serious. So I mean,
and we only
Blake Hance coming in. Yeah, and Baltimore knew that Blake Hance was nothing. I mean, they just took advantage of Blake Hance being in there. It was, but I mean, and then when you have Baker Mayfield who can't really throw the ball deep or refuses to or can't, I don't even know what word to describe that. I mean, the way to perfectly sum up this game: 4th and 10, Browns had the ball. Last offense play of the game. Baker Mayfield throws a 3-yard pass to David Njoku. If you want to describe this Browns offense right now, just use that play.
Yep, that sums it up. Yeah, it's just not good enough. It's an average team with a really bad offense right now.
Who would have ever thought over the last few weeks that the Browns defense would be the side of the ball that they lead? I said in our Discord, can we just have it be the Browns defense versus Baltimore's offense? All game. It would literally give the Browns the best chance to win.
And that was like the most exciting part. Like seeing like JOK fly around and the cornerbacks playing really well. It was fun to watch. And just when they punted, it was just like miserable. It was bad. It was This offense it's all predicated on the inability to pass. They just cannot pass the ball. They can't do it successively or consistently, and it's just killing the whole entire offense because teams know that the Browns can't pass, and let's just load up the box. Let's do some run blitzes and make them have to pass, and they couldn't do it. They did it on one single drive, and that was I don't know. I still don't know. Like that's the even more frustrating part. It's just the inconsistency. We saw that drive. That was a really good drive by Baker, and then the next drive he almost had two interceptions. Like it's just the most confounding thing, man. I don't know what to say. It just the whole offense is out of whack. The execution is just terrible. And the quarterback is bad, and it's been the like we saw consistency problems. He's been consistently bad. Like it's not even a consistent problem now. He's just bad. Like there's not much good right now. And we saw pregame that his injuries, he's feeling the best of it. He did not look it. I don't know who the heck put that
That was
report
all
out there.
talk. That was absolutely all talk.
Right. I don't know who the heck put it because it was the first scramble of the game, and he comes off limping. Like you can't tell me the dude is feeling good. Like it was I don't know who put that out there. I don't know. But yeah, it's I don't know why he's playing. I've been consistent with this. I don't know why he's out there playing hurt. He's not helping the offense. And pretty much when a team blitzes, he has no idea what to do because he can't move backwards quickly, and he's gun shy, and it just leads to just a mess on offense. It's just not fun to watch.
Baker's bad. It's obvious. Whether it's his injuries, whether it's him just I don't even know what to say. But the drops also didn't help today. I know they had a lot of drops today too. But I mean, when Baker's bad, I mean, he was like 19 of it was like 17 of 38 today. I don't even know. I'll look up his stats right now. He was 18 of 37, 247 yards and a touchdown today. Yeah, he didn't have a turnover. He could have easily had like 2 or 3 interceptions that were dropped. But like defenses, if we see that he's bad, defenses that watch film more than 40 hours a week know that he's bad. And they're literally, like we said, there's to stack the box because they know that the Browns' biggest strength is Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. And they're going to do it. Opposing defenses are going to do exactly what Baltimore did today, which is force Baker Mayfield to throw the ball deep, and it's not going to happen. And you hold Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt to like 2.2 yards per carry. I mean, the Browns offense, if this continues, I don't see them scoring more than 20 points in the game unless they get some defensive touchdowns or a defensive, like some huge turnovers or something where they get good field position. But like looking at the remaining schedule, they're 6-6. They play the Ravens at home in 2 weeks after the bye week. Home against the Raiders, at Packers, at Steelers, home against the Bengals. In their final 5 games, they will probably only be favored in possibly one of those, maybe 0 of those. And that one would be the Raiders. Because I mean the Bengals just literally obliterated the Steelers today. So I'm not saying that the Browns might not win a game the rest of the year, but they could realistically
They could
go 6-11 this year.
Oh my god.
The blueprint's out there. The blueprint is out there.
Yeah. It's up to the Browns to figure out if they can beat that game plan, but right now they can't. They have just they look just completely overmatched by whatever the defense is sending. Like, and it was the same thing the whole game. They just blitzed the heck out of them, loaded the box, and just made the passing game just try to beat them, and they couldn't. DPJ was disappearing, and Jarvis was the only semi-productive one, but he came in and out of the offense pretty much. It was like beginning of the game and then the end of the game where we saw him. So it just It's not good. I don't know. I don't know why they don't get David Njoku more touches or looks because he's the most dynamic receiver right now. He really is. There's nobody. There's no bigger mismatch than him in the passing game right now, and I don't know why. I don't know why they can't get it to him. I don't know. I just don't. It just doesn't make any sense. He should be the focus point, just like the Patriots when they were great. They didn't have any top receivers. They had slot receivers who were good, and then just dominant tight ends. I don't know why they can't. Why the Browns shouldn't just go like that with that. And I think Stefanski's trying, but it's just the execution of this team is just not there, and it's just awful to watch right now. And I don't know. I don't know if a week can help. Maybe it is. we can. We were given a statement today that Baker was feeling good after this week, but that was bull crap.
I can't wait for like 12 days from now when we're gonna get that. Baker is feeling as close to 100% as he's felt since week 2 of the season in about 12 days from now. Oh, and by the way, I guess Kareem Hunt's dad is saying some very nice things about the Browns offense on his Facebook tonight. So it is just a great night to be a Cleveland Browns fan.
Oh boy, we need to take away social media from the Browns dads.
I can't. Oh, dads! I cannot wait to see Emily Mayfield's repost on her Instagram story tonight or tomorrow. It's gonna be. I tweeted this out during the game. I guess this is probably a bad podcast to say it on because this is a Cleveland Browns podcast. But I wish I can go back as my younger self and ask my younger version of Josh Ploha why I became a Cleveland Browns fan. Because I'm a Cleveland guy through and through when it comes to sports. But, like, how have I put myself through this since 1999? Yeah. It's like the Browns, literally, they had like the 5th best odds to win the Super Bowl this year. They are legitimately close. I would say if you could pick one right now, which would be to have a top 5 pick or to make it to the Super Bowl, I'd say they're closer to a top 5 pick.
I would fully agree with that.
And it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, it sucks, man. I would agree with that. It's like,
who would have ever thought 12 weeks into the year? Like we said, oh man, that's such a late bye week, week 13. Hopefully they can get through it without too many injuries. Yes, the injuries stink, but like not all this can be blamed on Kevin Stefanski, this offense, but the sophomore slump is real this year. Kevin Stefanski will hopefully be able to work through it. I don't want to talk about the offseason already, but he's going to have a long offseason, just like my Ohio State Buckeyes after they lost to Michigan. Speaking of that, man, what a horrible weekend for Ohio State and Cleveland fans like me. Holy cow.
We got the Cavs. We're back on the Cavs.
Come on, Cavs. Gotta make it happen.
Yeah, it's Stefanski's gonna have some questions. There's a lot of faults that he can take. Definitely, the lack of discipline on this team is just astounding. I don't know how many personal fouls we've had, how many pre-snap penalties we've had. It's astounding.
Oh, hold on, before you go on, I think it was the first quarter. Baltimore was about to punt.
Oh,
the Browns have 12 guys on the field, so they call timeout because they have 12 guys on the field. They come out of the timeout and get penalized for having 12 guys on the field again. How, excuse my language, how in the hell does that happen?
I don't know. That's one of the things. Like, we didn't see this last year. That's the crazy thing. We saw some penalties and stuff like that, but this team has just lost all discipline, and that's on coaching. And Stefanski's got to answer for that. He also has to answer why the heck Baker is still in the starting role right now. I don't get it. It's killing this offense. He just can't move back there, and it's not about just playing bad. He clearly is not healthy, and it's putting him in just a terrible position. So I don't understand why he's playing there. And then just in terms of just the overall kind of culture around the team right now, it doesn't seem good. Like you talked about his dad mouthing off. Like we've seen what multiple times this year. It just doesn't seem like a very healthy culture right now. So he's got some work to do this rest of the season and this off season. I don't think his play calling is bad like a lot of people do. I think it's getting people open still. It's just not being executed.
Speaking of this play call, you're talking
I just
calling.
love it.
All right, Adam Cerny, should Stefanski turn the play calling over to Scott Van Pelt?
No. I don't think that's the problem. I just really don't think that's the problem. The biggest problem, as I've been arguing on Twitter, which yell at me for that, but the biggest problem is the execution of this
Wait,
offense.
hold on. That's the second biggest problem. The biggest problem is that you're arguing on Twitter. All right, continue.
Okay, thank you. I knew you were going to do that. Yeah, but it's just execution. Like the players aren't playing well. They're not doing their job, and that's the biggest problem. I don't know. Like
the second biggest problem. Go on.
I don't know what Stefanski's supposed to do. I don't know. Is he magically just supposed to put people wide open for every single play? Supposed to just run the ball every single time, even though they're loading the box? Like that doesn't make any sense. No coach is stupid enough to do that. And I don't know what miracle you're supposed to get out of this play calling. But this is I put almost not all the blame, but pretty much most of the blame on execution and the players just not being good enough right now.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. There's only so much. Kevin Stefanski's play calling can only take a team so far that it's just not playing well and not catching the ball and not being able to throw the ball deep. And especially when an opposing team loads the backs, which, I mean, every single team from here on out is going to load the backs.
It's not going to be fun.
I mean, it could get ugly. I mean, let's be honest, it could get ugly, especially really against these offenses that we're going up against. I mean, the worst offense we have the rest of the season is Pittsburgh, but their defense, I mean, if they load the backs, man, it's going to be some long podcast the rest of the year. I don't even know what to, I mean, I'm at a loss for words right now because I'm just so, I did not see this coming from the Browns. I really didn't. We're back. I know one of my buddies, a Steelers fan, texted me tonight, and he always hates on the Browns, but he said, I mean, what he said is right. He said the Browns had Super Bowl aspirations this year. The Steelers are having one of their worst seasons in decades, and they currently have, actually, no, he said they currently have the same record. The Steelers have a tie, so I think the Steelers are a half game better. Or they're a half game worse. Either way, they're about the same. I mean, it just stinks that like the Steelers
5-1, so I think they're ahead of us.
They're half. So yeah, the Steelers. It's just crazy that they're having their worst season in decades. The Browns were supposed to have their best season in decades, and here we are, both with similar records. I mean, it's I don't know if it's a curse. I don't know what it is. The injuries stink. There's only so many next man up philosophies you can have, but the injuries aren't the whole story either. It's just like the coaching. It's from the coaching on down. It really is.
Yeah. I like how you brought up the injury. Every team is injured. Like we keep harping on this, and I do too. I take full blame on that too. But like no one steps up. There's always the right tackle's hurt. So your whole offense is just derailed by one guy getting out. Like that can't happen. Like look at the Baltimore. They had so many injuries before the season. On defense, on offense, their running back was taken out, and there's 7-3 or 8-3 or whatever they are now. It's just excuses, and these injuries are definitely hurting, but they shouldn't be the whole end all be all. They shouldn't just derail a team unless it's like your franchise quarterback or something. But
all I'm gonna say, wait, did you just imply that Baker Mayfield's not the franchise quarterback? I'll let you come back to that one.
I'm already on that boat, bro.
And by the way, I just want to put it out there: injuries. Arizona was without Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins last week.
That is the
and Colt McCoy threw for almost 400 yards and led the Cardinals to a win. So that implies either one of two things: one, it's not always about injuries, or two, a backup quarterback can win you a football game. We're not going to argue about that tonight because I don't want to sit here for another hour, because we could literally talk about that for an hour about how Case Keenum should be the starting quarterback right now. But if Colt McCoy can go out and win football games, the Browns can go out and win football games no matter who it's against. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
But I know we haven't talked enough about the Browns defense tonight. The Browns offense struggled like usual. I mean,
defense showed out.
Yeah, the defense literally showed out. Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett seemed like they were in the backfield all game. I know there were like 3 times where Jadeveon Clowney was like this close to sacking Lamar Jackson. This close.
That's gotta be the worst freaking feeling.
It is.
It's gotta be
because the only stat you get for that is a quarterback hurry or whatever they call it, and it's not even that's not even in the stat sheet. That's like in the analytics part,
advanced stat sheet.
I mean, let's see. Right now, the Browns had 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and Myles Garrett had 1 of those. Jadeveon Clowney got credit for 4 tackles today. That's it. But they were literally in the backfield all game. Not only were they in the backfield, the Browns forced Lamar Jackson to throw 4 interceptions, which is still crazy to me that Lamar throws 4 interceptions. The Browns are in the backfield all day, and they still lose.
Yeah.
And it's 16. I mean, holding the Baltimore at 16, I know you said this earlier, it was a game between 2 bad teams. Yes, Baltimore is, I think, in first place in the AFC North, which then again shows you how bad the AFC North is this year. It was supposed to be one of the best divisions in football, but I'd argue that, I mean, Cincinnati and Baltimore are good, but they're certainly not that good. But I mean, and it's still Browns. The AFC North is finally winnable, and here the Browns are 6-6.
Seriously. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's the most frustrating part. It's just, imagine if we had the team last year.
Well, technically, we do have the team last year, but better, and somehow they're worse.
Oh my gosh. This defense stepped up. JOK was every single place on the field. This is, if you want a reason why JOK was drafted by the Browns, just watch today. He was here to stop Lamar and his ultra scrambling ability and everything. He was everywhere. And I expect a very, very high grade on PFF tomorrow. He was outstanding. Myles Garrett was dominant once again. Jadeveon was great versus the run again. Tack was really good. Tack McKinley was really good. I thought Newsome was really good too. He had a couple big breakups. John Johnson made a play today. It's just the whole defense played well, and we still lost. We gave up 16? Was it 13?
16-10.
16-10. We gave up 16 points to Baltimore, and we lost. It's just, if you said that before, if I told you before the season that the Browns would give up 16 points, I think every single person would have taken that chance and said, "Oh, we're winning that game." But here we are with a loss, and it just sucks. And I know the Baltimore offense is struggling right now, so I'm still on the defense. Still has to be more consistent, but it was a great sign to see him step up today. Because it would have been a bloodshed if they didn't.
I'm looking at their schedule right now. Ravens and Steelers. 2 huge games in the division. The Browns lost to the Steelers 4 weeks ago, 15-10. Tonight, the Browns lose to the Ravens 16-10. The Browns defense, yes, Joe Woods has been hated on a lot by all of us, but they've given up 31 points to the Steelers and the Ravens in 2 games this year, and they've lost both games. You're not going to win many football games when that happens, especially in the division.
Nope. It's just it's head scratching, man. This whole season's been head scratching. And
you say head scratching, I say head pounding, but continue.
That is a better description. Yeah, I don't know where we go from here. They have a big bye week here. I don't know if there's some miracle potion that Baker can take.
Not something that will not get him suspended. There's miracle potions, but they would all get him suspended in a drug test.
Worth a try, right? At this point, but yeah, it's just not looking good, and we're in another position where we might be talking draft in the next couple of weeks, and that's just
a tradition like any other.
A tradition like any other, man. The good news is we might get Garrett Wilson, so glass half full, guys. Glass half full.
And you just had to bring up Ohio State again, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It. And whoever MZC is, we are not trading for Jimmy G. He is terrible.
I will future this comment. The other ones are just the other ones I will not share. Trade for Jimmy G. I know someone with a blue check mark on Twitter suggested that too. Yeah, nothing like going from Baker to a higher price Baker Mayfield. Like, where's the upgrade?
That is a great example. Like, if we're going to move on, it's going to be a high price like trade, or it's going to be a trade, and it's not going to be for Jimmy G.
The Vegas odds. You know how Vegas always people always share the odds for the Browns to win the Super Bowl following the trade are now. I think they would literally stay the exact same if they got Jimmy G, whatever they were going to next year.
Yeah, like if your evaluation of just trading for a guy is you're better than a hurt Baker Mayfield, it's not what we're looking for. You might as well just run it back with Baker and hope he gets healthy and kind of turns it back to 2020. But yeah, that's there's going to be a lot of big decisions this offseason, but I don't think Jimmy G is going to be one of those decisions.
Yeah, he's literally just an overpriced Baker Mayfield. I like even people say if the Browns overpay Baker, which honestly, Baker Mayfield possible extension or new contract or whatever. Window. That can not. It might not be out the window, but we can literally talk about that for hours on a podcast as well. Seriously, he's lost so many millions of dollars this year, injuries or not. It's crazy.
Right.
But here we are, 30 minutes. We said this would be a short one. We're 30 minutes in already. I'm just so down about this team.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. Like today, I literally watched the game, but I felt like I wasn't really watching the game. Like I wasn't really focused on it. I just always felt like the Browns were going to lose. Is that wrong of me? Is it bad of me? Maybe. Right. But I'm just not. I was optimistic about this team, but I can't be anymore. It's just when they went down 16-10, I was like, it's going to take literally a miracle to come back and win, and they were down 6 points.
Yeah. Yeah, it just has, since that Pittsburgh loss, man, it just has, this season has just gone down the drain. If anybody watched the Pittsburgh game, I still have no idea how we lost to that team. That is the worst team, one of the worst teams in the league. But we did, and it just shows you how terrible we are. It just does. And it's been probably worse each week, which is... I know everything. Yeah, I don't know. It just sucks, man. There's not else so much to say. That was 2 bad teams out there today, and they battled for who had the one better player, and they had Lamar Jackson. We had Baker Mayfield.
Who was the better bad team? That's what tonight was.
Yeah. And also, who had the better kicker, too? Justin Tucker is just a cheat code.
That's a Justin Ticker, obviously. Yeah, exactly.
He's just a cheat code, man.
He really is. If only the Browns were a cheat code. The Browns are like the anti-cheat, where like they try to cheat, but then they only get worse.
I fully expected
I said, I've said this multiple times.
Yeah. I expected the David Njoku touchdown to be reversed. Just going based off the anti-cheat code. I thought that was gonna be, but hey, good things happen. Yeah, true. It's I just wish this was at 1 o'clock.
Hey, a touchdown!
I just wish this game was at a 1 o'clock game so we could have the rest of the day. The good thing is
we cannot be podcasting at 12:30 in the morning.
So yes, that would be true.
Yeah, it's. I don't even know. I'm gonna ask you for your final thoughts because my final thoughts are just gonna be super depressing, and no one needs to hear depressing final thoughts. I will say that I never had a feeling that the Browns would win this game tonight. Why I didn't bet the Ravens 3.5? I don't know. That's really dumb of me. But yeah, it's just I've been optimistic a lot this year, but I have no optimism left for this Browns team.
Man, I actually agree with you. It was a game that was like, I don't know how they're still in this, but I still don't think they're really in it. Like they were only down one possession for most of the game, and it still felt like it was an uphill battle. This offense is just broken right now. There's no other way to describe it. It's a broken offense, and I don't know if there's any answers that Kevin Stefanski can make. Maybe I would say if Baker is still injured and all that, move into Keenum. But I don't know how much that's going to affect it either, because defenses are still going to load the box and they're going to force this passing game to step up. And I don't know if it has the talent. I don't know. It just sucks where we're at.
Yep, I completely agree with you. All right, so there it is. Just a very entertaining talk about this bad Browns team right now, and it sucks to say that. Browns just lost 16-10 in Baltimore, fall to 6-6 on the season, heading into the bye week. Joe forced me to be on this podcast. No,
one positive right now.
We have to do this podcast all the time.
I know. One positive. It is a bye week. It is a bye week. We are
the one positive. The Browns will not lose next Sunday.
I guarantee it. You can put
my gosh.
You can put all the money down on no losses this week. I don't know if anyone's taking that bet, but somehow, the Browns will get it. Somehow the Browns will get a loss next week.
True.
But yeah,
because it's so Cleveland. Yeah. So the Browns 6-6. They have 5 games left in the regular season. They will most likely be underdogs in all 5 games. So that's fun. The offense looked like crap tonight. The defense played Joe Wood's defense. Maybe he just always needs to be on the hot seat because his defense played really well tonight. I don't know if it was him or just the players. The defense played really well tonight. Forced Lamar Jackson to throw 4 interceptions, and the Browns in turn scored 10 points. So, yeah, the Browns just lost 16-10. I wouldn't say they got embarrassed, but it was just a very bad performance in Baltimore. I'll put it that way. Yeah. We'll be back with you in 2 weeks. I'm so glad that we don't have to talk Browns next Sunday. I know this sounds bad of me, but like I hate being so like down about a team when we had such high expectations. It just I feel bad to always be talking down about them, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So for those that joined, those of us or those of you, go on.
Just to end it, and not to make anybody even more down. Just remember all those past bye weeks and crappy years. The newsworthy things will be just coming out of the chute now. So just be advised to just take it in and kind of, because I expect a lot of Baker news, a lot of upset people that through the whole organization, but that's where we're at. When you lose, this happens, and that's where we're probably going to be at.
Yep. When you lose, bad news comes out. When you win, it's all just pushed under the rug and no one says anything about it.
That's exactly right. Yep.
So, Browns are 6-6. They just lost to Baltimore 16-10. For those of you that joined us live tonight, 1, I asked why you would do that to yourself. 2, thanks for doing that. For those of you that commented, always comment. We'll feature some of your comments as long as there's no swear words. It is now 12:30 in the morning on a Monday morning. Thanks for joining us. This podcast is brought to you by Evergreen Podcast Network, and not every Sunday. After every Browns game, we're always live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Just either listen to our podcast on wherever you listen to podcasts after the fact, or if you want to join us live, it's usually within about 30 minutes to an hour after every Browns game. So thanks for joining us. Have a good rest of the week, and I guess go Browns.
Go Cavs.